Hello, I'm Charlie Wilson, and this is Hallam News. First tonight, around 100 firefighters were called to a blaze at a factory in Leeds yesterday. The fire caused major disruption in the area as surrounding roads were closed due to rush hour traffic. The cause of the fire is still being investigated. Police are asking anyone with any information to come forward.
Investigators survey the damage the day after an intense blaze. Nearly half of this factory in Rawdon has been left in ruins. At its height, about 100 firefighters tackled the blaze at Airedale Air Conditioning. Hundreds of workers were on site at the time. Thankfully, they were all safely evacuated. But concerns about 60 gas cylinders led to road closures and disruption.
The contents of an acetylene cylinder are quite volatile, particularly when put under heat. It's something that we have to monitor and control very carefully, which is why we had to close the road last night, which caused significant disruption to the commuting traffic. It couldn't have happened at a much worse time, really. We had to monitor those constantly, and actually we're still doing that as we speak now to ensure that they're safe.
Today, many workers return to the site to collect belongings, survey the damage and consider their future. Managers say they hope to get things up and running as soon as possible. But in the meantime, employees have been told not to turn up for work next week. Shirley Henry, BBC Look North, Leeds.
A change has been made in the speed for lorries over 7.5 tonnes. They will now be able to travel 10 miles an hour faster on single and dual carriageways. The government says that it will save businesses money whilst also reducing congestion. However, a road safety charity based in Yorkshire called Brake says this may lead to more road accidents and collisions, and they want the original speed limit not to be changed. A new climbing wall has opened in Sheffield as part of a general growth in climbing throughout the city. It's called The Foundry, and there will be an academy for the 20 best youngsters in the city. Teaching will be done by some of the best climbers in the world. The wall will also be open to members of the public and is expected to attract thousands of people in the city.
If you take South Yorkshire's best young climbers, the country's best climbing wall, and the world's best in their sport, you get something pretty special.
Fun sport, because you can do your own things on the wall.
I just like really the feeling when you get to the top, because you have to put in a lot of energy, but it's worth it when you get to the top.
At the Foundry in Sheffield, they've handpicked 20 of the best young climbers in South Yorkshire and formed the Foundry Academy. But that's not all. Training them are legends of the sport. Jerry Moffat was widely acknowledged as the world's best climber for 2 decades. Neil Bentley doubled for Matt Damon in the Bourne Identity.
When I started, you never saw young climbers, and you see these little girls are maybe 8, 9, 10, and they're climbing like proper climbers, and they're up there and they're hanging on, they're pulling the rope up and clipping it in. They just look like any other pro, but they're just young kids, so it's exciting to watch.
It's just great to be able to pass on, the knowledge that I've accumulated over the last 25 years of climbing, and see these young lads, and the girls in here actually improve, their own climbing. In the centre here and over and outdoors on the crag as well.
What's it like being taught by some of the world's best climbers?
Brilliant. It's like the best thing.
And what are they teaching you?
Tactics and what to climb at and everything.
I'm going to have a go now. It could take some time, so you might want to go make yourself a cup of tea. I did it! It has to be said, I probably picked one of the easier walls, but I did it!
I was very pleased with myself, but my efforts were put in the shade by these young climbing stars of the future.
Pressure is building on Sheffield United manager Nigel Adkins as his team looks set to miss out on the League One playoffs. The Blades now need other teams around them to lose games for them to finish in the top 6. Speculation growing around the club is that Adkins may be dismissed by the club if United are to miss out on the playoffs for the second time in the last 3 years. After a victory against Blackburn Rovers on Tuesday night, Sheffield Wednesday moved closer to clinching a playoff spot in the Sky Bet Championship. Wednesday manager Carlos Carvajal says that the Owls are in good position after defeating Rovers, but must remain focused for their next game against Bristol City if they are to finish in the top 6 and make the playoffs.
But you know that I will not change what I will tell since the beginning of the season. So we will not play in Bristol different that if you have 1 point, 2, 3, 4, or minus 3 or 4, we play the same. We'll do our focus in the game. So now we have a rest tomorrow, and after we'll start to plan in the next game. And this will be a very, very tough game.
That's all from Helm News today. Thank you for watching and good night.